mu ni dura scriptures say ne be piepi ade be gire nyame ani mu be buya ten scriptures we mu ne be piepi. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. So it is not your husband that must judge your submission. It is Jesus. The marking scheme is not with men, but our actions are towards men. Our classroom near my exams now try. And you only teach and know other meeting. If you marry, you know that women can behave in a way they themselves don't understand. That's why Apostle Paul was very clear. Don't be bitter, because no I want to mean whatsoever ye do in word and in deed, in speaking and in actions. One kasa we action. Fenya kasa na ukasa. Action na we. So when the diatema ubasu. One trip phone and fra oko. So one frame ya open and tabame. So is it that action or word? And he said, whatever you do in word or in action, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God. The catcher said, "Dear Ubeka, need the obey be I and we used to do." Not just say, "Oh, Kasachre Elvis." Then so yesu dinimu and our de kasa. A church say, "Enye Elvis na who no." Oh, Kasati said, "The oh Kasachre Yesu." Nia opa the ye Elvis ibiano. You see, enye say wo she Elvis. Yene say, "Oh yama Yesu." Nia opa say wo ye no. Enhwe nipa na wo yama no. O si yene wo Yesu dim. Enti me yama wo Yesu dim. Enti nye wo dim na me yene wo Yesu dim. Owie no ba be break it down. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord. So it is not your husband that must judge your submission. It is Jesus. So if you are respectful, Jesus will say. If you are submissive, it is not even your husband. So forget about your husband hyping you, say my wife is very respectful. No, that one Jesus will say it as it is fit in the Lord. So the marking scheme is not with men, but our actions are towards men. The one you hate is not him you are failing, it's the one who mark that you are failing. Our classroom near my exams now try. And you only teacher and tell me you know other meeting. Ube failure general teacher, ube succeed general teacher. On the be mark I can say fail. Tidia wona fufu be kan wi here. The teacher be kan you need teacher no. That means all wives' duties are unto God, not unto the husband. And to be di Yesu achia. I say, oh, ye kind no ma be say nyina wi an ehu se mu bebre nye Yesu achi na edi. Ye di ano na ye Kristo so nkeke. Ye nye Yesu achi na edi. Ti ye mbra ya ho ase ma ye kunu because oyi twa money. Ye mbra ya ho ase ma no free say fata wa ewuradim. Ye say ye ti asori dem so ya ma wi asefo na ekire ye se na ye se aware si. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. If you are a bachelor, you not understand it. If you marry, you know that women can behave in a way they themselves don't understand. That's why Apostle Paul was very clear. Don't be bitter, because no I want to mean the awareness. Enti use ube worry say bema edi watin kana warrior. Every day of the marriage, you may be bitter against your wife, because any day she gets angry, our phone bed may be wow, the ube for 2 years one way our own person in the best review. So Apostle Paul is telling you, love your wife and don't be bitter against them. That means it's not about what they do, it's not about what they represent, it's not about how they behave, just love. So they ask that, so should a wife not love, should she only submit? And should a man not submit, must he also only love? No, God only commanded. These things, they are a command. God told men to love because it is not in the nature of men to love. It is in the nature of men to let go, but it's not in the nature of men to love. So a man submitting to a woman is not a problem. It is part of them. You have no idea homes that women are in charge of, and the man feels that so God needed not to command men to submit because they can, but to love. A man doesn't have such feeling. Such affection is not there. It takes so much. So God has to command the man. The woman loving is not a problem. She is naturally emotional. But the woman submitting is a problem. It's not in their nature to control to anybody, to humble herself for you. A man in Mercia, they say, the same way, or no. So to women, he commanded them. He didn't have to talk about love because they will love. But he had to command that they submit. Because unsubmitted. And this is where he will mark. And he said, do this as it is fit in the Lord. Then he will do the marking scheme. He finished with why he said, all these things, do it, any deed, action. Then you have to do with deed and action, do it unto the Lord. He said, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. So if you are dealing with your child, drilling your child to obey you, you are saving your child before Jesus. It's not about you. It's not about how people will say. It's not about society. If a child disobey you, he has trouble with Jesus. His life can be cut short. So when you train your child to obey you, you are actually saving your child before the Lord. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. So a father shouldn't deal with the child beyond normal, to a point that the child will lose hope in life. That father also has a problem with Jesus. If a father can deal with the child and chastise a child to a point that the child doesn't want to live again, that father too has a problem. You didn't do it to your child. Now 18 years, 30 years in your father, you have a case with Jesus. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing God. Anybody you call boss, if you do eye service, you have issue with Jesus. Anybody you call boss, if it is only eye service, when him eye service, 80% of a Christopher fall short here. He said, but in singleness of heart, fearing God. That means that your fear of God is seen in how you deal with your boss. And some wunyamimu, you are failing totally. And ye namu bomba ye tiem se eradi hunyambo, eradi shiraye, ye free one ye could dear boss at him. Ka usunsuma sema e bo hiasi. E ma utifa kwa untimi koweni. And now kwa juma, just tell your boss, whatever I've done against you, please forgive me. Because why wouldn't you wedding at him? Sir, but if every Abraham carry, you are seeing me the media, so they my Verse 23. And whatsoever ye do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. So why do it as unto the husband? Not unto the husband, but unto the Lord. Children to father, father to children, wife, husband to wife, everything, boss to servant, servant to boss, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ. This is what we call service to Jesus, and this is what you will reward on. Know the work of God. He said, for ye serve the Lord. She said, you are asking for a blessing from Jesus, he will check your service, and your service is not unto him, it's unto men. Wherever you have failed Jesus, mercy in the area of your service to men. Grace is coming, grace is coming, grace is coming.